Hello, hello, hello. Hola, hola, hola. Welcome to a new episode of the Yoga for All Bodies video podcast. As you can see on your screen, today I have an incredible guest for you that is in a beautiful setting. Susan Graham specializes in therapeutic healing practice called Restorative Yoga. She's a studio owner, yoga teacher, trainer, and entrepreneur who became depleted and was diagnosed with chronic pain, chronic fatigue, and chronic stress all at once. Her story is an example of creating what you need. So she invented Rainbow Foameez.
Yes.
A portable yoga prop set to make the practice more accessible and amazing for the people that practice yoga. Thank you for being here. How are you, Susan?
Oh, thank you for having me, Natalia. I'm so pleased to be with you today. I love your whole platform and what you're putting out there with, yoga for all bodies. That's something that I've definitely endorsed and taught, in my teachings for 20 plus years now, because of body injuries and things that I've been through as well. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. So I have a lot of questions for you. So I would like to know, how did yoga came to your life?
Well, in my early 20s, I was, I'm an ex-figure skater. So that's really where, I'm a competitive figure skater and coach for I did it for 44 years. So in my early 20s, I was coaching skating. And of course, we did dance as well. I was a dancer, because you take dance with you when you're skaters, because you got to look good on the ice and pretty and do all the arm movements, right? So we did dance and skating a lot. And then naturally, I guess someone said, "Oh, why don't you try yoga?" So this is way back. I'm 21. And the first yoga class I went to, the very first class, I remember at the end of the class being in Shavasana. And I in that moment, I was like, I am going to teach yoga. In Shavasana, I was like, I will be teaching this next. I just knew I was going to teach it, right? It felt so natural to me, yoga. And it really is. It's natural to all of us if we let it. It really would come to us. And then once you practice it and you get it into your system and it's all in your cells, then you're doing it naturally. You just start to do it naturally.
Oh, love it. Love it, love it, love it. And can you describe what you felt in that moment that you decided, yes, I need to share this?
Yeah, sure. So of course, I don't know if everyone experiences that feeling of Shavasana, I think it takes practice, but for me, it was very natural and innate in me that I felt that sense of just really sinking and letting go. I was in a whole other world, for lack of better words, a whole other state of being. I was really lost in it. And I just remember being able to feel that in my body. And I'm someone that can really feel in my body, feel movement, feel everything. So that sense of being able to release, let go, and be a natural teacher. I've been teaching since I can remember, as a little kid even. I remember teaching skating when I started teaching skating when I was very little. So it just seemed to me in that moment, I was like, God, yeah, I want to share this with everyone. I want to teach this to anyone and everyone I could teach, have this experience, right? So that was it.
Oh, amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And what is the story behind creating your own props, Rainbow Foameez?
It's crazy, right? So I'm actually sitting right now on my, I call it the alternative seats. And it's meant for outdoors, right? So it's a beautiful meditation seat that you can travel with and get wet or, snowy or mud. Not that we all live in the snow area, but I do, and we used it all winter, so it was really great. So the story, Rainbow Foameez, it's a kind of a twofold story, and I can say it fairly quick without taking forever. I've been practicing. After I had twin babies, I had two babies at the same time. This is 13 years ago now. At that time, I was teaching I mean, so much yoga. I can't even tell you. I ran studios. I was doing teacher trainings. I was like on fire with the yoga, right? And then what happened was I was running a studio, and of course I was still teaching skating at that time too, which was crazy. I have 2 babies. I'm nursing both of them, doing my teacher training, my 200-hour training, right? Teaching my teachers teacher training, and then I just crashed and burned. Right? Like I crashed and burned. I was like, I got chronic fatigue. Chronic fatigue really set in. I couldn't recover. Like if you've experienced chronic fatigue, or any of you have, you'll know what I mean by that. Like even if you sleep, you don't feel rested. So I started to experience that. I just was really, really tired, really done in. And then pain. I had injured myself so much, first of all, as a figure skater and a dancer, right? There's that. Then yoga. I was one of those competitive push people. And so I completely missed the boat here on following the yoga philosophy or yoga sutras, right? Of the yamas and niyamas, and which was ahimsa. That just floated out of my mind, and I pushed through. Right? And I pushed through a lot of the yoga. You know, I was really in that nature of competitive, you know, I was still young and I know kids, and, you know, it was like that. And so I injured myself a ton. And I'm someone that doesn't build muscle easily. I know this about my body. I got very loose ligaments. I'm very stretchy, right? Like I'm super stretchy. So sometimes like I'll overstretch. I overstretch and injure myself. I've had many, unfortunately, like I tear ligaments and tendons. So I've overdone my yoga practice. So now I do it in a whole other way, which is amazing. So this is how it started to come to me, right? So I had to quit everything. And then I was so tired and I was like, that's it. The yoga studio, I had to just let the yoga studio go for a while. Then we bought a new house, and my husband at the time and my father and father-in-law, they built me a beautiful basement studio in the house. So yeah, I've had like several studio spaces, and I'm probably at like 10 different studio spaces at this point in time in my life, which is cool. I'm always open to all sorts of things, right? So at that point in time, I was ready to teach yoga again. And but the only yoga I was ready for was restorative, right? So I could only practice restorative. And I knew that if I was going to teach again, like it was not going to be the way that I had been, because it was so over the top. 25 classes a week, teacher trainings, like it was just push, go, right? So I knew
and
that
vinyasa style, or what style?
All different kinds, right? I was in a studio. We ran like there was a hatha, regular hatha, gentle, vinyasa, prenatal, the list of all the different kinds, right? So we had all of that, but so at the home studio, I was like, finally, it's ready. It's finished. The basement's done. I'm ready to have some neighbors in. I think, I was thinking, to me, that's what I was teaching, that for teacher trainers that I was training, I would encourage them to teach locally to their local neighbors. Say, just run a class once a week. Not everyone needs to own a yoga studio, and it's not great. Like running a yoga studio, it's like you can go broke real quick. Really. So, because there's a lot of overhead, right? There's a lot of rent and cost and paying teacher, anyway, the list goes on. So I'm in the house, and then I was like, but how am I going to teach restorative yoga? I don't have like all the props. Like I've always had studios, but once you do your restorative training, you really realize you need about $500 of props per student.
Yes.
So you need like 2 big bolsters, 4 small blocks, a Mexican blanket or whatever kind of blanket, right? There's a list. And by the time you add that up, I was like just trying to get about 7 to 10 people into my basement studio. And I was still at like an enormous amount of money. Like it was like almost $5,000 to get the amount of props that I wanted. So I was just like, I can't do that. Like I had 2 babies. Like I had 2 3-year-olds at that time. They were 3. They weren't babies anymore, but try 2 3-year-old boys. Anyway, so then with this whole magical of the universe thing, I was meditating one day in my living room in the afternoon. You know, the kids were napping, the babies were napping, and this whole blah 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 came through me, literally source, and I got a hit of an idea of how to make this happen for much lesser cost for me. And at the same time realized that was the only, you know, this is where I was at in my career, in my path myself personally, that I can only, you know, this is only what I can do now and offer, and that's okay. And so they became, you know, my healing tool. They became my yoga studio tools, props for students. People started buying them, wanting them. And then it just kept, you know, it's kept going from there. There's been, of course, lots of ups and downs, and that's business. But
oh, love it, love it, love it, love it. And I can relate with you because my biggest ideas have come when I'm meditating or Shavasana.
That's right. Every
Yes.
time. Every time. And, you know, again, if you've been in the world of yoga and teaching it, if you're teaching it, it really does take us personally to a whole other level, energetically as well, right? So, and students, of course, as well. But the students typically come once or twice a week, where the yoga teachers, we're doing it every day, right? It's different. So when we're taking in that much prana and energy and all of that, we're operating pretty big, and we've got big ideas and source. We'll let that energy come through us. So we get these hits and these wonderful ideas from our, you know, universe, source, God, whatever you refer to it.
Amazing. And if you can show us the props.
Sure.
Because I know it's a set, and
yep.
And while
so
you
there's a
show it to
6-piece
me,
set.
yes.
Yeah, and that was part of the whole development, right? Like I was like, I want a set, and they're really light. So that was the other thing too. Like, look how light they are, right? They're not like, you know how heavy the props are, right? You know how heavy the regular yoga props are. Like I could, you know, I like to travel around with my yoga because I'm like that. So again, like, I love that we can travel around with these, and students, you can take them to class with you. Like, that's the whole point too, right? Like they can travel with them. They wipe down, medical grade quality. We've got 2 of the single smalls, I call these. These are very therapeutical and used for a lot of rehab, right? Physical rehab. So I work with physiotherapists a lot. I end up training and working with a lot of those people in that industry, like chiropractors, physios, rehabilitation therapists, and specialists. Because I've had so many injuries, I'm an expert at rehabbing myself. But I work with them as well, and they train it. It's becoming part of that as well, the whole medical industry and the rehab therapeutic therapy, recovery, right? Recovery. So that's these 2 single smalls, and there's the small headrest. That one's so great.
Ooh.
That one's so great. That keeps you in alignment. That keeps your students in alignment, like their spine, the cervical spine. It's so good. And then we've got 2 big long ones, right? So these are these replace your big regular bolster, right? Yeah, then they're so heavy, those ones though. And then you have to take the cover off, right? And wash them, where the covers don't come off these. These stay on. You just wipe them down with whatever you want. Soap, water is even fine. Whatever you want, any bacterial wipe if you want, anything, right?
Oh,
yeah.
amazing.
So 2 of those, and then there's this one big headrest too, and that works for so many props and positions, and yeah. So yeah. Oh, and then we've got this one too. I call this the kneeling pad, and I again invented this for me and people like me. Like I work with a lot of injured older people, seniors, and not even seniors, boomers, right? We can't kneel. If you've had a knee replacement or knee surgery, which I have twice on my left knee, it's just, there's no more kneeling. So this helps a lot. So yeah, I call it the multi-purpose.
Great name. And since the beginning, when you came with this idea, you already knew that you wanted all this set, or were you perfecting it?
No, it just kind of, it grew, right? It grew as it went. I let it just evolve. I let it come to me. I didn't make it happen. I can't explain this more. People people are like, oh, so you decided to invent yoga props. I didn't, right? I didn't decide that. It came to me. I don't know how else to explain that, right? So then once I of course I just started with the two of these, right? And then it grew, and I was like, well, hey, I know I want them to fit. I need this piece. And then I was like, well, I need these, right? Like I just kept, and then I was like, you know what? This actually started because my boys up here in Toronto, Canada, play hockey. And of course I'm an arena person. So I wanted something to sit on at the rink. In those, on the, you have to sit on those silver benches and they're so hard on your butt. So that was where this actually started. But then, so that's why I call it the multi-purpose, right? But then I was like, I need it for kneeling too. So it became part of my yoga practice, and I keep it in my car when I go to sporting events for my kids. Yeah. And then the meditation seat was a no-brainer. I just wanted this sucker. Like my kids use this, right? The one I'm sitting on right now. Woo! The alternative seat. And it's made with heavier, right? It's a more dense foam. So it's designed for sitting, right? So these are not, these are designed for propping, right? So it's bolstering, right? They mold to your body. These are beautiful. They mold, like you just sink in. So lovely. Yes.
And what would you say is the biggest challenge of creating your own brand and do it by yourself?
Oh, there's been many challenges for sure. The biggest part is, the hardest part for sure is there's just so much that you have to do on your own, and that you're not an expert at. Right? So like I'm not a brand expert. I'm not a yoga prop designer expert. It was just, again, I let it come through me. So it's finding all these people out and all the, so many things you have to learn and work with and deal with, and then, the website, oh my goodness, the back, that there's so much with the website that you're just like, oh goodness, thank God. Yeah. You need help. You have to hire people and get help. That's the bottom line, is that it takes you to the next level, because it's really hard to take this on your own and not get the help that you need.
I can imagine, yes, because there's design, there's testing the materials, so much.
There's so much.
So much.
Oh, and there's so much. These have the carry handle too, which is so great, right? You can just carry them, which I love. Yeah, very good.
Amazing. And what would you say are the biggest differences between this yoga prop set and traditional props?
There's a few differences for sure. The one being that you get like 6 pieces together all in one set. That's amazing. There's nothing else I don't believe out there like that. So there's that, and that they're really light. They're really light. So you can carry them around easily, right? So there's that. You don't have to take the covers off and wash them. Like, I love that. That was part of my whole, once I started getting into the development of it, right, and innovating of it and all of that, I was like, as a yoga studio owner, I never want to take off covers again and wash them, right? Like, I was just like, I don't want to do that anymore, right? You do it for years and years and years and years, and it's weekly, like you're like always. So I love that. That's amazing, right? So you just wipe these down. Yeah. Wipe them down. Waterproof. They're waterproof.
Yes, in that same line, when I first found you and I went into your website, I love the fact that they were waterproof.
Yes, waterproof, medical grade quality.
Yes, that you
incontinence.
That's the thing. I immediately thought about my grandparents.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Amazing.
That. Incontinence friendly. So that's a huge thing. Yeah.
And then I thought about some of my friends that the reason they don't practice in studios, it's because they don't want to share blankets. They don't want to share balls.
They don't want to share the props, right? I know. I have a lot of friends that don't mind, but I mind. I'm one of those people that mind. So, and just because I worked in so many gyms and yoga studios for all those years, you kind of see what goes down. You see what goes down in those places, and it's like, I want to use my own.
Yes. And especially now that the world is starting to reopen, these props are great because you can wipe them up. Basically, I've seen a lot of students that are only using chairs because it's the only thing that you can grab a wipe and do it. But here we have a solution.
I know, right? Revolutionary. Yes. So I was invited to the, I got to speak and present at the Accessible Yoga Conference. Do you know about Accessible Yoga?
Yeah.
So I got to do that when it was here in Toronto. That was a few years ago. And the people there, they loved them and they were so happy and impressed that one of the guys there said, "Oh, it's about time someone revolutionized the yoga prop world." And I was like, hey, that's a great quote. So that one's on our website there.
Love it, love it, love it. And I love props. That's why I'm so excited to know your story. Yes. And finally, I always ask favorite yoga prop, but we know that the favorite yoga props is this set. So
yes, for sure these. But if I had to pick one piece, it would be so hard. I always travel with them. I always have my like in my car, I always have this with me, right? This is my alternative seat. Look it just bounces back. It's waterproof, wipes down. It's got the handle, right? I mean, this one just is on the road with me everywhere I go, anytime, any place, right? So because it's a perfect little travel companion, right? You go to the beach with this. You can get it wet. You can go anywhere with this. The woods. This is why I'm here. Like, this is what I do. I come to nature, right? I come to nature to meditate. I do. Yes. Yeah. Amazing. So if I had to, I guess this. But these, I do. I need them too. But start to run out of room in the car when you've got kids. It's like, how are we going to fit everything in?
Amazing. And what would you say to maybe a yoga teacher that has the inspiration to create maybe a product that will change people's lives? What advice?
I say go for it. Go for it, but do your research because it's quite the thing. Do your market research. See what's out there. I don't know if I would desperately try at that, right? Again, this isn't something I tried. I think if you're forcing it, then it's, but if something comes to you and you get a hit and it's a real magical little thing, then yes, do it, right? Yeah. So I think there's that whole listening to what the information you get, right? That internal hits of info and going with that in the world, in your own world.
Yes. If it comes from the heart and you really let life guide you, I think those are the most amazing projects. If you fight life, if you push it,
I know.
I've been there. No.
Me too. Yeah. Just to mention too, we also have a restorative training digital download. If it's an 8-hour digital download course, with the fee, you get your own set of Rainbow Foameez, and I've kept the fee quite low for that. The cost for that, it's an 8-hour digital download restorative training course with the set, so that's pretty good. I think it's $4.99 plus tax in Canadian dollars, so that's not bad. Again, check the site. And then what else? affiliates. Yes, I just launched the affiliate program too. So I'm getting like people like yourself all joining and signing up, and they're into it. Yeah. So affiliate, like studio owners, teachers, Pilates teachers too, that want to offer this product to their people can sign up, get their affiliate link, right? Their unique link, and make commissions off us.
Amazing. And give all the information, your Instagram, website, so people can find you.
Sure. So of course, if you have any questions, it's info@rainbowfoameez.com. So that's FOAMEEZ.com. That's sure. Email us anytime. And then Insta, what did we get? At Rainbow_Foameez. At Rainbow_Foameez. Foameez. So that's good. Yeah, find us. You'll find us. YouTube channel
Love
too.
it. And do you ship everywhere or some parts?
I'm sorry. What was that?
Where do you ship? I'm Latina, so sometimes I speak.
Oh, ship. Oh, yeah. We ship.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Ship. Yeah. We ship. Yep. We ship worldwide. So we're
Amazing.
good. Yeah.
Love it, love it, love it. And anything else you would like to share with the audience of this video podcast?
No, I don't think so. I think that was great. I think we covered everything, and I just welcome everyone to check us out at Rainbow_Foameez.
Yes,
and
go and visit it.
Follow along and join in and ask any questions you have. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your story, for sharing your passion, for sharing your props that I think they are genius. So
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you so much, Natalia, for having me. I'm so honored. Thank you.
A big hug. We stay in contact. And if you're watching this video, like it, share it, subscribe. And the most important thing, share it with your friends, share it with your colleagues, because this is a message everybody needs to know. Yoga really is for all bodies.
Oh, absolutely.
See you. A big hug.